It's our distinct pleasure every Thursday to be joined by the head man of LSU baseball, Coach Jay Johnson. Coach, what's up, man? Big-time series in the box coming up here over the weekend. How the boys feeling today?
Doing good. How are you guys this morning?
Doing well. Energy's high. Great part of the sporting calendar, right? Little NCAA basketball tournament into SEC baseball. And it's kind of, I want to know how you parse through this and deal with this with the team, Coach, because we were looking at the SEC slate coming up this weekend, and I was just kind of struck by how high the stakes already feel, right? Like after one weekend, there's already multiple teams that feel like almost like back against the wall. What are you going to do? How do you get your team to kind of process that and or deal with it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's about being consistent. I got some really good advice from a former coach in the league when I came out here that just you have to stay very consistent in your approach. You're going to take some body blows. You're going to have some highs throughout the course of the schedule, but every team you play is pretty much as good as you. And so the team that can just maintain consistency in their approach and their play, you're going to come out of it all right. And nowadays, I think it's even more important just because the league has completely separated itself from everybody else in college baseball.
Coach, how important was that midweek game this week against a good Louisiana Tech team, a team that has been in the postseason, last couple of years and won a lot of games, and to come back after dropping 2 of 3 and to have a performance like that against a good team, and you score the runs, you keep their run tally down there, and really come out and dominate a good baseball team?
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance. I think this team, one thing they deserve a little credit for is, when we've had a loss or maybe not as good a game, we've responded with a good game and a win, and that was certainly the case on Tuesday. It's a competitive group, and, we treat the midweeks very seriously. If you want to put yourself in position for postseason, I always believe those are important. As I've told you guys before, we dubbed the season a 56-game playoff, and loved the 5-run first inning. I thought we pitched extremely well, which was important coming off the weekend, and a good performance, and now it's on to the Gators.
And real quick before we look forward to Florida and the unique challenges that they represent, Coach, looking at last weekend, you had some very level-headed kind of valuation where it's like, look, 18 runs offensively, that can win you a series. Maybe not sweep, but that can win. The problem started on the mound. In film review, what do you feel like you identified in terms of the correctable issues that you think can help lead to some improvement in that aspect this weekend?
Yeah, I think our misses were too big, and when your misses are too big, the balls down the middle of the plate look like batting practice, and that definitely happens a little bit. And so got to be tighter with our command, got to be tighter getting ahead in the count. And then we frankly just need guys to get us off the field. Some of those innings just kept going, and it's just that one pitch to finish it, and sometimes that's just a compete factor. And credit Mississippi State, they did a great job. They have a good team. They have a really good team, and that environment was really good. Like I have to tip my hat to their fans. I mean, I'd never lost a game there prior to this weekend. Both at Arizona and here. And it's different when they get going, and I think some of our guys experienced that for the first time, and we need to use that as value going forward because it's coming next weekend and it's coming the following road weekend that we have.
Well, and it's interesting for a couple of reasons. First, I mean, when you talked to the Athletic before the season started, you actually highlighted Mississippi State as one of these undervalued teams that could surprise this year, and they looked very solid. Also, though, not alone in the road struggles in the SEC, right? Like every single SEC road team ended up dropping that series. Does that apply any extra pressure now that you're holding serve? Now that you're back in the box and you got a very good Florida team coming to bear that's going to be looking for some national championship revenge?
Yeah, I mean, in both those things, honestly think they're both irrelevant because I really don't care what anybody else did or didn't do on the road. Our team is our team, and we need to play as good as we possibly can play. There's certainly an element of, standings and those things are all real, but we have to just focus on playing really, really good. As far as the Florida thing and last year, it's like you go through that deal. There's obviously guys on our side. Tommy White had a huge impact in the outcome of that deal there. Jack Caglianone, Cade Kurland on their side. But there's so many guys that were the front line of both of our teams that are not here.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
I don't want to say that series is irrelevant, but it's two completely different teams playing, and that's a little bit the nature of college baseball. Nowadays with the transfer portal, and a lot of guys are coming in older and they're leaving quicker. You know what I mean? After like 2 years. So I mean, I think it's awesome. I'm super proud of the fact that we've won the 2 of the 3 series, both series we've played against them, because they're a great program, and this is going to be an awesome weekend. I'm really excited for our fans to come out and get into it. And, it's a traditional weekend, night day. It's an SEC weekend, and we're going to need them. It's a big challenge, and we need them behind us this weekend.
Coach, you mentioned Tommy White there, and we're seeing a fully healthy Tommy White, and obviously what he's doing at the plate, but also what he's doing at third.
Yeah.
I think against Mississippi State, so many fantastic plays, and not only great plays, against guys that can pick them up and put them down, getting down the line. And so, it was the totality of the play, not just with the glove, but with the arm as well. Is that what you saw from a healthy Tommy White, knowing what he could do defensively?
Yeah, 100%. And he's worked really hard, not just this year, but last year. I mean, it's the main reason we got him. It's like, hey, man, I'm going to ride or die with you at this spot, and we're going to continue to develop you. And he has delivered, in the best way possible. He's having an excellent defensive season. He's really picked it up offensively, and it just shows you how good that he is. It's like, I mean, for a while he was hitting 330. It's like, oh, well, he's not going yet. Well, yeah. I mean, I just, I kind of felt like I was sticking up for him, and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And then you see him go, then you see him go homer 4 games in a row, and it's like, okay, I got you now.
And Coach, there's professional baseball on this morning. Shohei Ohtani, we've been talking a lot of Ohtani, and Jack Caglianone. Obviously, Florida brings to bear one of the most exciting two-way players in all of college baseball. What's your view? Like, when you're game playing, do you game plan like that's 2 different players? Do you somehow connect the 2? Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, offensively, he's going really good right now. I mean, I watched the series last night with Texas A&M, and there are 2 midweeks surrounding it. He's really swinging the bat right now, like as good as anybody in the country. Yeah. Pitching wise, we'll get their rotation late this morning, per SEC rule. Mm-hmm. And, we'll find out what day he's pitching. And he threw Sunday last week, so I think he'll either be Saturday or Sunday. They tightened up his arm action a little bit. He's been a little bit more consistent. We're going to have to do what we do against good pitchers and battle him and try to get into that bullpen, because he's a lot to deal with. I'll never forget that last year in that championship game. Like in the first inning, he looked like Ivan Drago, like knocking out Rocky, and then we put 6 runs on the board. So we're gonna have to find him.
Coach, we talked about this, I think it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, having the experience on Friday nights in Holman that can go out there and know the SEC. And so it's a little bit of a unique game for him against Mississippi State with all the singles that they had. So, the contact wasn't, maybe the stat line didn't match up with each other. But how important is it to know that you've got a guy that has pitched in this league so he understands, look, you might not have your best stuff on this Friday, but you've got to bring it the next Friday knowing the opponent's going to be one of the best teams in the country?
Yeah, he'll be better. And, this guy he's got the it part of it. Like, I caught him on Saturday or Sunday and we were just chatting for a minute, and it's like, it boiled down to one thing, like, I'll be better. I think I don't worry about this guy coming out and going, hey, I don't have this pitch. And I mean, if you come out and just say, hey, I don't have it or this pitch, you're just making an excuse of why you're going to go out there and fail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if you're worried about the pitch calling, and that's not Luke at all. And that's why he's positioned right where he's at. And I expect him to give us consistent performances, over the rest of the season here. And it sure feels better when you know you got a guy that's going to go out there and throw strikes and compete.
Yeah.
Look, Coach, I can't wait, man. It's going to be so much fun. LSU, Florida, two of the premier programs in the entire country doing battle in the box all weekend long. And if you're listening to this, LSU fans, crowd, get out to the box, pack it out, make it loud, make it intimidating, make it hard on these Florida Gators. Coach, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.